Thank you for joining me today, Paul. I'm with Paul Weisenfeld, Managing Director with Morgan Stanley Wealth Management in charge of funds.
Glad to be here.
Paul, could you please describe the key responsibilities of your role?
Sure. I think at a very high level, the most important part is to provide investment excellence to our clients. In addition, since I run a product area at a broker-dealer, we're always looking for new revenue opportunities for our clients and for our financial advisors to talk to our clients. And then finally, I would say making sure we have the greatest tools as well as services available to our financial advisors, again, so that they can deliver investment excellence to their clients.
That's great. What are the top 3 critical success factors for your role?
I would say continuing to grow our assets and revenue in a challenging and sometimes confusing investment environment is one of them. I think the other one is no surprises, and it doesn't matter if it's revenue or assets or expenses or losses. No surprises is probably the second one. And then the third and final, I would say, is that my colleagues, both here at the firm as well as outside, actually want to work with me and my colleagues. It's incredibly important to have people you're working with want you on their team. So I would say those are the 3 critical factors for success.
What are the key business pressures that you currently face?
I think one of the pressures we have here at our firm, we just spent the last 3 years putting our firms together. We put Legacy Smith Barney and Morgan Stanley together and trying to make sure that the products and platforms that we deliver to our clients are consistent or better than they had been in the past. It's one of them. The other one is a transformation from a client investing perspective, from an equity-oriented investing population to either a more balanced investment population or even fixed income, which is what we're seeing a lot of, and trying to manage our way back into an equity-oriented investing environment. And then also, I would say, an incredibly competitive environment on the distribution side among wirehouses and other types of firms that provide financial services to clients.
So Paul, what are the capabilities that you look for in your suppliers to help them overcome these business pressures?
I think that first and foremost, we want to make sure that our external partners don't view themselves as vendors. We want them to view themselves as being in a partnership with Morgan Stanley. We want them to be flexible. We want them to be proactive. We want a partner who's going to look at our business and help us grow together, as opposed to growing through us or us growing through that vendor. It's got to be someone who's going to be proactive and think about our business as a whole and see how they can come up with ideas so that we can grow together.
Paul, what are your key decision criteria for selecting a vendor for these services?
I think that it would be very hard for us to ignore pricing. I think we also want someone who's going to be taking a long-term view. When we strike up a relationship with a partner, it's typically not a short-term relationship. It should be viewed as a multi-year relationship, and it should be structured that way. And also, we want someone who's going to be thinking about multiple parts of our organization, because we are such a diverse company, to see if there are synergies that we can get elsewhere within the organization.
So then, why did you decide to work with Morningstar?
So I had a couple of interesting experiences with Morningstar. You might be aware that there was a financial crisis in 2008. And at that time, we were part of a different organization, another company. And our experience was we had a contract that was expiring with Morningstar. And to this day, I'm still amazed at how flexible and how willing Morningstar was to partner with us and take a long-term view of our relationship. And I think in light of that, it really did work out very well over the long term for Morningstar and for what was then Smith Barney and now Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. And that was probably the single most important reason why we have such a deep relationship with Morningstar, was from that experience in a particularly challenging time period.
Thank you for answering the questions with us today, Paul. We appreciate you spending the time with us.
You're welcome.